Hello.
Hi,
Welcome. What's your name?
Gaoshan, Sandy.
Gaoshan.
My English name is Sandy.
Sandy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you. As you know, I'm interested in teacher stories. So I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
I usually start by asking about the past. I'd like to know your experience as a student when you were younger.
When I was a student, I think I liked some of the subjects, not all of the subjects. I should say that I like studying, but I'm not a very good student because I hate some subjects.
Okay.
For example, I hate mathematics. That's why I choose English to be my major. So anyway, I think most subjects I like to learn. And I had some very good teachers. For example, I have a very good English teacher in the middle school. I think that she is the reason that I became the English teacher. And also, my mom was a primary school Chinese teacher
Oh,
for many, many years. So I think when I was a little girl, I wanted to be the teacher in the future. So that's a dream. And I think I am, how to say, there's a saying that somebody born to be some jobs.
Oh,
And
right,
I think
okay.
I'm born to be the teacher because I really love teaching, but it is not the past, it is now. So
yeah.
after graduating from the university, I became the teacher in this primary school. So I worked here for more than 14 years. So I love teaching very much, and I really enjoy to teaching in the classroom.
Okay.
So as the teacher, I think I am a kind of good teacher, I should say.
I have a few questions for you. So going back to the past,
Okay.
you mentioned that you didn't like maths. Why didn't you like maths, or what
because
was
of
it?
because of the teacher.
Oh, really?
Because in the primary school, I love mathematics very much because my head teacher was the teacher of math. But in the middle school, I met a teacher who's a old guy, and he's very, very strict.
Yeah.
And he asked us to punish us to do more exercises. So I hate him, so I
Yes.
don't like that.
Yeah.
And
Okay. And coming back to now and being a teacher, I think you were saying that you think you're good at teaching. What makes you a good teacher?
first is the passion. I think it is the original reason that you became the teacher. And I like to learn. I like to accept many new things, such as when I think the first year in this school, at that time, I don't think many teachers can use PowerPoint to help them to teach, but I did. So I learned I liked new technology to help teaching. For example, I use video to copy something, and I surf the internet to find some songs and videos to help my students learning. So I think I like new things. I can accept them, and I'm opening to all the ways. I'm not very traditional. Sometimes I use the traditional way to teach, but sometimes I use the new ways. And I like challenge myself. I want to do something new. For example, sometimes when I was do a kind of demos class, as Rosie did today. And the next time, I must do something new. Maybe the new things are not the best, but I want to try. I want to try something new, and I want to just give my students some new things.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is very important. we often teach the same thing again and again. It's easy to get bored. So you need something fresh for you, the teacher, and for the students. Thinking about education in China, have there been any big changes, whether it be attitude to education or actual changes in methods or resources?
I think so, because we have a very big change from 2001, began in 2001. And I think from that time, all the teachers, they have some new ideas of teaching method, of changing their teaching method. And I think some kind of leaders, I mean, not only in the school leaders, but also in the district or in the whole city or the whole country, they make some rules that you should just obey to use the new things to teach. I think these 10 years, more than 10 years, teaching method or teaching way changed a lot.
Yeah.
And from the year before, no, from last year, the school have more right to control the time of the class.
Okay.
For example, in our school, we changed the time of each class. Normally, we have 40 minutes for one class, and we have 6 classes per day. But now we have 7 classes per day and 35 or 30 minutes for one class, and we can just begin some new curriculum and more new subject to teach.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think it's important to try to adapt to the student and try to give them the best teaching possible.
And nowadays, I think to say it is a good school or it is a normal school, I think many parents and many parents, they focus on their curriculum. I mean the school's own curriculum, and if the school can give the chance to the students to learn more, they will just send the students to the school. For example, we have some swimming classes, so they can go to the water tube. Is that no, the place to hold the Olympic Games, the swimming. The tube.
The cube?
Cube,
I can't remember.
Something about that. So they can go there to learn how to swim.
Oh, great. One change that I know about, I think maybe it's on the Gaokao. Obviously, we're in a primary school, but maybe I can ask your opinion. There was a change in the English exam.
Yeah.
Perhaps there are less points, or
But more time, more chance to get the exams. For example, if you can't get your perfect marks, you can just test it and join into the examination for many times, twice or 3 times.
okay,
I think that makes English more important.
okay.
Because if your English is very bad, you should join into the examination 3 times or maybe even more. But if your English is very good, just 1 time.
Let's talk about learning English in China. Now it's, what's the word? Obligatory.
What's that?
Obligatory, as in you have to learn it, right? You have to have English class. But many students, well, some students have no interest in the language and perhaps are never going to use it. Do you think all students should learn a foreign language?
I think so. Because I think to learn a foreign language, for example, English, it is not just the language, it is the way thinking or the foreign country's culture or something like that. I think because you are in a different country, then your thinking way is different, and your values is different. So I think learning a language can help you to understand more.
I think when you were describing yourself, you said that you like learning. I guess you are an independent learner. You, right? You do a lot of self-study. You want to improve yourself. Teaching and learning in China, usually we have the idea of memorization, and there isn't a lot of flexibility, and students are very passive. They just take in the information, but don't necessarily they're not necessarily able to really demonstrate their abilities.
That's the point we want to change.
Okay. So this is happening.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I'm from England, and we talk about lifelong learning and independent learning. So my question was going to be, is that happening here now, or how is it happening? And
we often teach the students something in the primary school, especially primary school, and then I think a kind of knowledge you must teach them. Not must, but the better way is to teach. But some of the knowledge they can get by themselves, and the more when they get elder and elder, and then they can just have their only way to learn, their own way to learn. But before that, the teacher should teach them some basics, and then they can just learn more. So in China, I think the primary school and the middle school, maybe even high school, the teacher gives them some basic skills. But from the university, they can just learn by using their own way. So that's why many students they can go abroad, and they can go to America, for example, to have their master degree, or they can just join into the university in America. And the basic skills is very important, but I don't know. Nowadays, I really want my students to have their basic skills and their own way to learn from the primary school, not from the university. But it is very hard.
My comment is that there are a lot of, I feel, kind of changes in early education, primary school. But when students get older and there's the pressure of the Gaokao and the pressure of exams, this kind of flexibility and freedom, it kind of disappears. So it's a shame, because maybe you have some freedom and independence when you're younger, but then as you get older, you cannot continue to develop these skills. What else
happens.
Yeah.
And some of my students, when they are in the high school, some of their families want to send them to go to America to learn to study in the university. So the 3 years in the high school, they told me they have more pressure than the students who's going to join to Gaokao, because they have their family will pay more, and they must go to some extra classes to learn, for example, English.
Thinking about technology now, my master's is about integrating technology into the classroom. Not just using the tools, but possibly using websites and apps and so on. How do you use technology in your classroom?
For the younger students, I think just as I said, the tools. But for the elder students, learner, I think internet is a very good way for them to learn. I think if you can use internet during your class, but we can't do that nowadays.
Okay.
If you can use, we can use the internet from the teacher's computer, but students can't use by themselves. So if we can use internet, I think, they can do some real things. For example, they can shopping online by using English. Not the area that teacher made, but the real thing to do that.
I think that's probably the most useful thing or the most practical thing, that you can actually do things in English, like you have a real goal. So it's not just, okay, you're repeating these words, but you're actually using them. Let's think about the future now. Do you? What are your plans in terms of your career? Will you continue in this role? Do you want to do something different?
I think so, but this is my problem. Because if you are a very good teacher, then you will become for example, from the group leader, you will become the group leader of the English teaching, and then you will just become another leader, maybe not only English but other subjects. And then now I am the director in our school, so I have less time for teaching. I only have 2 classes, so that means I only have 6 classes per week. So that's less than normal English teachers. So, but I will exist. I will just continue teaching in the future. I will try my best and try to use the limit time to just develop my teaching way and to help my students learn more. It is a wish, but I am not sure, because if you are a director, you must listen to the headmaster. If headmaster said no, you can't teach anymore.
That would be a shame.
No, I will leave this school.
You make an important point, because when teachers get promoted, when they get promoted, they get further and further away from the classroom, and that's a shame, because it's really important to have the connection with the classroom.
So I was very upset the year before. I don't know. I just feel I did something I can't. I'm not good at, but I can't do something I'm good at. So I don't know. It is just the problem.
Yep. Okay. Well, thank you very much for speaking with me.
My pleasure.
I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.